But yeah, I started watching Young Justice, and it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I only watched a couple episodes though so far, so the team is still getting put together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I haven't watched anything. The only thing I really saw was The Little Things.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, is that the movie?
yeah, with Denzel Washington and the dude from
Yeah.
iRobot. Not iRobot, fucking. What's that shit? Mr. Robot. There you go.
Was it
/ Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, Remy Malik.
That dude. Mm-hmm.
That movie didn't look interesting to me. I don't know. A lot of times these awards movies look boring, and a lot of times they are.
I didn't know it was an awards movie.
Well, it's that time of the year where a lot of these movies that want, their Academy Awards and Golden Globe and all that nonsense start coming out.
Yeah.
But a lot of times those movies are boring, so.
Yeah, I don't like, in my humble opinion, I don't think it deserved an award. It was.
I think it's trying to get nominated.
I don't think it. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of movies right now, so I don't know if it's like up there. If this is what we like, one of the only things we have to nominate, I'm a little worried. But
no, because then the same with that Malcolm and Marie movie with
Malcolm and Marie,
Zendaya, and I always forget his name, but it's Denzel Washington's son. And I guess ain't nobody really trying to watch that either because it looks boring. It's just like a couple in their house, I guess, yelling at each other. I don't know, but
that's every day in the streets, man. Like,
it didn't look interesting to me at all. And then, like, I guess people were like, dang, like, he's way older than Zendaya. Like, it doesn't look realistic. And I'm like, you know what? Couples be
all over the
different
place.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
like, we have that one friend who's, had a baby by someone who's grandpa. Their senior. Yeah.
Somebody's grandpa.
Yeah, so
I don't know.
No shade. Love is love, but, it
ain't for me.
It's everywhere. As long as they're 18 and consensual, I think they can do what they need to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, but we were talking about Reddit when we were playing around with the mic. So I happened upon the Reddit groups that it's pretty much people make audios where they just say nice things to you.
Oh, I could do that all day.
Well, like Pillow Talk, I think that's what it is, where they just it's like your boyfriend's like, oh, did you have a nice day at work? Come sit down next to me and tell me. And they talk to you.
Do you get replies back, though?
No, like they leave space like you're talking to them.
But what if I have a lot to say? It's all like, if you have a lot to say.
You might have to pause it.
Like, hold on. Let me tell you the day I had.
But you never know. There might be some out there where the guy hardly ever says anything, or girl, because it's both,
Yeah.
And... they probably have some that leave a lot of space for talkers.
Kim, are you lonely? You have me. I'm a little worried that you had to go to my
No, I was just scrolling around on Reddit because I'm new to Reddit, so I just be looking around at stuff.
No, Reddit will throw like some random ass shit to you. I was just messing with you, but
yeah, but I was like, oh, that's cute, that's nice.
You know what? There's something out there for everyone, and Reddit's got you, and that's why I love Reddit.
That's probably really nice right now for people who are still stuck indoors doing nothing. Yeah,
that's true.
You can, have that imaginary significant other ask you about your day.
Yeah. I'm lucky that I have Toki here. My son, for those is he crying? I don't know. I heard like, why? And I'm like, God damn it. Like, we just started.
I don't know. I feel like I need you to come to my house and sage it.
What happened?
Because I noticed that Caligula has been like staring at the front door in a weird way, and he's been like sticking to me, and I guess when I'm not here he's been sticking to Anthony. But I noticed it, but it was enough that Anthony mentioned it to me.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. And the words he chose was he felt like he's protecting us, and I'm like, what do you think is out there?
Yeah, I'll probably drop by and
sage the place,
do something, brother. But yeah, you know what, Castiel and Toki too, you know what, even Benny, all three of them been tripping, and it's just like, y'all need to chill. Like, you guys have been around this stuff already. Y'all need to be big boys. We had that one fucking thing at my door, remember?
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. I don't know. I think we need a sage around here, too. But at the same time, it's like, ain't nothing happened. We all right now, you know? Maybe we'll wait, let, it, manifest a little bit, see what goes on. Maybe we're going to have good chemistry. Maybe, like, this is the one that's going to be like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, our home ghost,
Mm.
Like, that's Terry over there, he just shows up, he does his thing, he goes.
No, you know what's funny? I kind of think, and I have no proof or nothing, but I just have this feeling that the apartment below mine is haunted.
Really?
Because there was a family that lived there, and I don't be talking to people, but when they moved out, like, we were having issues where, like, the light on our balcony would turn on.
Oh.
And then, like, Anthony kept asking me, like, why are you turning that? Because that light, it doesn't, like, give any light. We have other lights that we have put, like, string lights that we put out there because that light gives, like, no light. Mm-hmm. And so he was asking me why was I turning it on. I was like, dude, I ain't been out on the balcony. Like, I have no reason to turn that light on.
Yeah.
And it kept being turned on without our permission. So, but then now a family has moved in there. Mm-hmm. And we haven't been having that issue anymore.
And that ghost was lonely. He's like, hold on, let me go with my other family.
Like, there's a lot of people in this building, you don't got to just come upstairs. You can, there's 2 floors, you can roll around the bottom floor and be chilling.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever said this story before, but yeah. So I remember I would see this ghost, and I don't know why, but a few years afterwards, I just went back to go visit. And our neighbors actually said that one of their cousins started seeing a little girl too in their house. And he described her, and my parents were like, that's the bitch Hyra was describing when she was little. I'm like, that's the same bitch. Same one. So I am a big believer that if a spirit is in one location, it can move around in close vicinities.
Yeah.
Because that place, it's literally like, we have 4 houses like around us, and they're literally like 20-30 steps away from each other. So I feel like, she goes in there and she fucks with people. I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I believe definitely that the downstairs ghost was like, man, I'm lonely. Where are all the bodies at? And then he goes upstairs like, hold on, I found some. Goes up there and decided y'all were boring and decided to go back to the new one. All right. So you ready?
Yeah. Oh, you want to hear a joke?
Oh, I want to hear a joke.
I was scrolling on Reddit. It said, had a girl try to choke me during sex recently. It said, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Who kidnapped who here? I was like, oh, wow.
Who kidnapped who here?
But then it's like, the comments that people put had me dying too. Because it said, she said, choke me, daddy. So I gave her 2 Popeyes biscuits and no drink.
That is rough. Why would they do that?
I'm dead. It's funny because I was just talking about the Popeyes biscuits, and we all know they dry, but I like them.
Me too. I love
get some honey and eat them dry biscuits.
And then, like, the thickness of the honey and the dryness of the biscuit, they just work so perfectly.
I will go to Popeyes and only get, like, 5 biscuits and some honey. But I hate how stingy they are with the honey. Like, the Popeyes by my house. I'm like, if I order a 5-piece or 6-piece biscuit or whatever, and you put 1 pack of honey in there, we have a problem. I need a minimum 1 pack of honey per biscuit. And that's
what I'm saying. Yeah, 1 packet per biscuit. How are you going to tell me to put half of... No, that's only 2 biscuits.
I know these honey packets don't cost nothing.
Yeah.
Why are y'all being stingy?
You know what? I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed that the honey from Popeyes tastes like plastic. Because
Did you bite the plastic when you opened it?
Well, I always bite the plastic when I open it, but I'm not expecting that to be inside of the honey. You know what I mean? Like, you get the little tip, you going, nyeh, you know what I mean?
I rip it with my hands.
Sometimes I can rip it with my hands.
Differently.
Yeah. Like, sometimes I can open it with my hands, but when I'm struggling with my hands, I use my teeth. I use whatever I can use, But
I feel that.
Sometimes when I eat it, I'm like, man, this honey tastes funny. Like, I have to buy the biscuits and then come home and put some real honey in there, and then I'm good. I don't know. I don't think it's real honey. Conspiracy theory. Shane Dawson, we need you.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't need him at all. We're gonna make it up. I was still talking about that pizza thing, because that pizza thing was wild, from the Chuck E. Cheese pizza thing.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked about this before on this podcast.
Yeah.
The Chuck E. Cheese pizza thing. That was crazy. I've been to Chuck E. Cheese several times throughout my life, and then several times in adulthood, because, I have a niece and she likes Chuck E. Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen pizzas look like that before.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Never.
Talking about fake honey, did you hear about the baby food?
No.
Girl.
What's happening with the baby food? They putting fake food in there?
No, they putting like things that could poison your baby in there. Yes. Apparently, they did like tests on the baby food, and they're seeing that they're having like high levels of like lead and other kinds of things inside of the baby food. And the baby food industry has known about this for years and decided not to do anything about it because,
that's why people start making their own stuff.
I know. And I'm like, it's just baby food. How do you get baby food wrong? Literally, all you got to do is mash the bitch. Like,
yeah, they just blending stuff. It's literally, y'all literally just blending stuff.
Like, how do you get that wrong? Like, you have fucking companies that all they have to do is clean the stuff and fucking puree it for the babies. Like, how do you get that wrong? What are you doing?
Because they don't care about us.
And, I always think about it because it's cheaper, if you can get something like, you know how we have that that company called Imperfect Produce or whatever? Mm-hmm. Like, it's cheaper because it looks ugly, but, it's fine. It tastes the same. It's good. I feel like these companies...
I get stuff from them. I get stuff from them twice a month.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel like these companies, they get cheaper food because like, it's on that side where, there might have been a leak, there might have not been a leak, we'll sell it to you for half the price. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, give that shit to us.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just crazy. Like, it just makes you realize how much non-regulation there is on our food when supposedly we have one of the most regulated food places in the world. But I call bullshit.
Well, the thing is, I think other places in the world just aren't lying. When their stuff's not regulated, they're just like, this is the equipment. Here, they're like, oh, we clean this equipment all the time.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Stop. Stop. You might as well just tell us the truth. Because there's a whole bunch of people who ain't going to care anyway. You might as well just tell us the truth.
No, for yeah, okay, yeah, I understand. Like, remember we had that thing with, like, Gordon Ramsay, or who was that guy who was trying to teach children what was in their food?
Oh,
and he made the chicken nuggets.
That other chef, I forget what his name is too.
Yeah,
because that show, I watched a few episodes of that show when it came out back in the day. Yeah. And the school system did not want him in there to look at their food at all.
Yeah,
and he couldn't. They refused. They did not allow him into the kitchens because they don't want they don't want people to see what kind of food they're feeding the children. And so parents told their kids to bring their school lunches home. And they brought them home, and he was able to look through a whole bunch of school lunches from different schools because the kids brought them to him. Mm-hmm. And they were all gross. Yeah. But that's what they feed us. Like, when you go to school, public school, I'm like, it's probably a whole different situation if you go to private school, but public school, they freeze in this stuff, and then they slap it on in the oven. Like, it ain't the best.
Like you said, they don't care about us, but I don't know. I just think it's crazy. Like, I don't know. I will never forget that fucking dude's face when he showed all these children everything that goes inside the chicken nugget. And like, when you eat that, they're like, yeah. He's all like, bro.
The funny part was, up until they came out the oven, the kids were disgusted. They're like, ugh, like they making all these faces. So I think he thought he was winning.
Yeah.
But then when you pulled out
chicken
breaded crispy nuggets, they came out the oven, they wasn't looking so gross no more.
Carcasses are delicious.
Them kids was like, you know what, I can eat that.
I know.
After all of that, I can still eat that.
The presentation at the end, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it saved it, unfortunately. Maybe if he would have made the nuggets look a little ugly,
maybe like the grilled ones, you'd be like, that breading, I'm sorry,
grilled stuff too now, but yeah, the breading does hide a lot.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. The breading is like putting, lipstick on a pig. You know what I mean? Like, it looked good.
That was a strange analogy. It was a very strange analogy, but okay.
I was hearing that a lot during, like, I don't know why. I was hearing it a lot on TV. But yeah, so it's stuck in my head right now. But yeah, it looked good.
I don't know. When I think of pigs, there's two things that come to mind. First, demon.
Oh, yeah.
That comes up first. Well, actually, there's three things. So first is demon. The second thing would probably be Charlotte's Web.
Oh, girl, that was not even in my head.
And then the third thing is Black Mirror. Have you ever seen Black Mirror?
Yeah, oh, girl, that pig
that
one,
first episode with the Prime Minister.
Yeah, no, no, that shit still gives me nightmares.
See, if I was like some sort of terrorist, that would be the crazy stuff that I would ask for. No, I don't want $1 million. What I want is this person has to have sex with this pig.
No,
and they have to live broadcast it for the world to see.
I can't.
That would be me holding the world hostage.
No, I can't. That I was just like,
we all were.
Like,
people
what?
The people in the episode was doing it. Everybody, like, when it came, because it was a ticking time. It was like, by this time you have to do it, and you can't do anything digital, because I think they did try to do that, they got caught.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing. You have to do it.
Oh, spoiler alert!
That pig. They brought that pig.
I know.
Man, if you haven't seen Black Mirror, I would recommend it. It's really good. Every episode's standalone, so you could just jump in anywhere. I wouldn't just watch through, but yeah.
I recommend it, yet I don't recommend it because, like I said, I saw that first episode. Girl, I think I saw like maybe like 3 or 4 episodes after that, and I'm like, I need a break. Like, this is
the seasons are short though. Like, it's only like a handful of episodes per season. Like, I think the last season was only like 3 episodes or something.
Okay, but the trauma's still the same, you know. Like, I need a break from how my emotions are feeling. Like,
yeah, they're not all that traumatizing though. I was just talking to somebody about, they had the episode where I guess everybody has like an implant, like a camera implant in their head, and so you're recording everything. And you could like hook it up to the TV and replay back. So if you were like, oh, you know, last Tuesday you said you was buying everybody pizza, and then you was like, oh, I don't remember that. Click in, roll back to last Tuesday, and play the video of me watching you say you was gonna buy everybody pizza.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that episode was very interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of cool ones in there.
Yeah, I think
because even the last season, they had the episode about the video game, and then like you pretty much go into the game, and it was like a Street Fighter game, but then it ended up being the two guys end up like having sex with each other in there.
Oh, and
it's like you feel everything because one of the guys was playing a female character, and so it was like a Street Fighter game, and they was fighting, and then you know things escalated into a place where I wouldn't have gone personally, but you know that's where they went, and then there was the whole question of, is this cheating? It was a lot. There was a whole. Their episodes definitely make you think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like
those
overload.
Definitely make you think.
Yeah. No, you know what? I know I saw one of the episodes where they were. I don't know if they were like in a ship or in a building. Well, definitely they were in some sort of enclosure, but they were like running on these like little bikes and stuff like that. And one of the girls
for money.
Yeah, for money, and one of them wanted to be like a star and stuff like that, and then they send her up there. And I remember the episode, but the one thing I did take away was the word fodder. He was all like, "We're like fodder," or "They're like fodder," and I had to look that word up, and I found it. And ever since then, I just randomly throw in the word fodder into conversations. Thank you, Black Mirror. Like, that's the one thing I took away. And the, proper fuck. But you know what? It's funny because I know that they said it in the Black Mirror episode, but also I've watched a lot of Guy Ritchie movies, and they do say proper fuck, and I'm all like, what the fuck is the difference between fuck and proper fuck? And then I sure learned what it was.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Learning things from movies and shows.
Yeah, because I think that a lot of Black Mirror, it's made in it's like British. The UK, right? Yeah. And then Guy Ritchie, he's from like the UK. I really like to learn about the different slang from different countries because they're just so They're just so different. They're just so fun to know. Like, I want to start learning them and throwing them in, English, and people just be like,
"Oh no." They're gonna treat you like Gretchen Wieners.
Gretchen Wieners? Who's that?
Yeah. From Mean Girls. Oh. They're like, stop trying to make fetch happen.
Oh yeah. I forgot who the bitch was. Oh, I forgot she's a weather girl, right?
No.
Oh, that's not the weather girl. Hold on.
Girl, you need to rewatch Mean Girls.
You know what? Everyone fucking loves Mean Girls. But I will say I'm not a big Mean Girls fan. Like, I saw the movie. It was all right. But, like, a lot of people I've realized, like...
Well, because it's like a cult classic.
Yeah. No, I know. But it's just like, man, like...
It's one of those things where it's like, it's required that we all watch it. And then people randomly quote it and joke about it. And you're supposed to just know. Because you're supposed to have seen it. Like, it's not optional to not have seen the movie.
Yeah, I saw it. I remember, like, you've never seen Mean Girls? I was like, I have seen Mean Girls, but it didn't leave, like, an impression in my life. And then it just started coming up a lot. And I'm like, hold on, let me rewatch this movie. Maybe I missed something. And then I rewatched it, and I was like, nope.
I don't know. It's just, like, it's, like, iconic. It's one of those where it's just, like, you gotta watch it because people are gonna randomly bring it up, and you just gotta know.
Yeah, well,
It's required millennial cinema.
Yeah. Go ahead and watch it, but I'm not gonna force anyone to memorize the verbiage. Like, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it makes sense, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm just like, all right, that's fetch.
I don't know, because it's so quotable. I don't know. It's real quotable. Like how we be quoting Pineapple Express.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Mean Girls is very quotable. Like, sometimes somebody will say something, and in my mind, I just hear, she doesn't even go here. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just... No, and then, speaking of Mean Girls, I swear, I need to start reading these BuzzFeed articles. But I never thought about it, and I guess somebody on TikTok brought it. And then it made me mad because... this thing has been referenced in other things that I've seen. And so I was like, obviously I was out of the loop and I didn't notice.
Uh-huh.
So the whole, like, one of the big issues in Mean Girls is that Janice and Regina used to be friends in middle school or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they fell out and went in two different directions.
Yeah.
And when you hear it from Regina's side, because you don't really hear it from Janice's side, it's just like, oh, we used to be friends and we're not friends, whatever. Mm-hmm. Because she's horrible. But when you hear it from Regina's side, she talks about how Janice was obsessed with her and then she thinks she's a lesbian or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the movie, when Janice starts dating the math guy,
mm-hmm.
he asked her if she was Puerto Rican and she said, no, she's Lebanese. And so I think, so what happened was she told Regina that she was Lebanese. And Regina thought that she said she was lesbian. And that's why they fell out.
No way.
And it did not click in my head at all until I saw that video. It was somebody's TikTok where they were explaining it.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm mad because it's like, it's been referenced in other things. Like,
yeah.
Back in the day, I used to be one of those people that watch Glee all the time.
Uh-huh.
And they literally had an episode about, like, a character coming out, and then they all had, like, shirts with labels on them,
Uh-huh.
And her shirt said Lebanese on it, and I didn't understand why. Like, I didn't think about it. I thought it was just, like, a joke or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But it's another reference to that.
Wow, that's crazy.
So they fell out over a small misunderstanding.
That's kind of sad. But
it's
like,
hilarious.
if you had to stop being friends with someone just because of their sexual orientation, then maybe that's not a friend you needed to have anyway. So
yeah,
it was a good thing, but it's just crazy. It's funny how a lot of things happen over a simple misunderstanding, and I feel like that's a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Little misunderstandings that went too far.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you ready to start this?
Yep.
Hey guys, welcome back to Item 9 Podcast. This is Hyra.
And Kim.
Thank you guys for coming back to another episode. Today, we're going to be going on part 2 of the Josue Velasquez case. You ready for this, Kim?
Oh yeah, I wanna know how this goes.
Girl. No, we're good. I can promise you that.
We were on day one of him calling this radio station. Mm-hmm. And so what you said day 2 they were gonna like try to help him through the phone.
Yeah, because that's when they finally get a hold of the priest Roberto Wasso.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, all right, you guys, get ready. Like I said last time, grab that sage, Palo Santo, whatever it is that you need. Sprinkle that Florida water around and get ready for this episode.
I don't know why I really want to buy some Florida water. And we sell it at my job.
They sell it everywhere.
No, when I went to that place, the Crystal place, they had these cute little mini bottles. I almost bought them. I was like, oh, you can throw this in your purse. Little mini, well, my backpack. Little mini bottle of Florida water. Yeah. You never know.
The cologne.
Moving toward the Earth's enormous velocity.
Higher.
Thank you.
Knowledge far in advance of our own.
That's a smart thing.
Contact has established. We now transmit you direct. Item 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific.
We left off, like you said, on day 2, where they finally get a hold of the priest. And he's throwing up while, he's doing the prayer for him and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then he pretty much tells the priest that he is moving houses. And when he leaves...
He wants to leave those demons there at that house. Move on.
Shoot. I don't know if that's possible, but I think what he's thinking is if he goes to a new space, maybe the energy there will be a little bit harder. Like, because they always have to recharge up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like when you go somewhere, you get jet lag. I'm sure ghosts get that. Demons get that shit too.
Yeah, plus they're so used to that space because he's been there for a while.
Yeah. So, while the priest is talking to him, he pretty much just tells him, like, you need to find a Christian priest who will come and pray in your home, pray with you, pray in your home, pray for you. And so he tells him, when I move, I'm gonna get someone to come do that. And I guess at some point him and the demons are still communicating, and he tells the priest that these demons are going to come to him on June 24th and are going to give him some sort of answer. I guess he had asked them about how to separate from them. And, pretty much you're like, nah, like, you're not going to do that shit. But then, like, they say demons and stuff like that. They're all tricksters. So pretty much you're like, listen, we're going to come see you on June 24th and we're going to have some sort of answer for you. So he asks the priest, like, listen, if I beg these demons to leave me, do you think they're going to go?
No.
Exactly. I'm all like, dude, like, you've had these demons since you were like 14
like
or whatever.
You would know better than we do. Like,
yeah, like
those are your friends at this point.
Yeah, like they gonna leave you. So, the fucking priest like has common sense like the rest of us, and he pretty much says, no, these demons are not gonna leave you because unlike God, these demons don't have anything. He's like, so God, he pretty much has moral and natural attributes that these demons don't have. First off, God is merciful. God is forgiving. He's loving. And he has goodness, which is what these demons do not have. And at this point, all of a sudden, you start hearing like beep, 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 beep. And I'm freaking out. I'm thinking there is a fire. A fire has ensued. These demons are upset. They set the bitch on fire. And, they start freaking out. And you hear the host being like, ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? Like, like, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
And the guy pretty much just tells them like, oh, I'm sorry. I have a heart monitor. And my heart rate is pretty much going over the roof. And I have a heart problem. When I hear these beeps, it tells me to take my medication. So
a heart monitor?
Yeah. Which, suspicious, because day one, he didn't have a heart monitor, you know what I mean? And he was freaking out just as much, Yeah,
because he said homegirl was moving around, he was anticipating to be beaten by her, like...
Yeah, and all of a sudden, he's got a heart monitor. So...
Wait, okay, no offense to people with heart monitors, but the female demon that chills with him was gonna try to take him for a spin.
Yeah.
And he has a heart monitor.
Like, was it not going beep, 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 beep? Like, that night? Also, I found the part where the guy has that big sigh of relief.
Mm-hmm.
I found it. I want you to hear it because I'm still on that. So it's on 3127 to 3140.
Perdón, son palabras que tengo que pronunciar para que no se me acerque. Ya se está yendo.
But did you hear that? Oh, like that.
Yeah. I mean, he's like moaning a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little, I don't know, sound a little different than you would expect it to
Yeah.
sound.
But I'm just telling you, like, when I heard him when he's saying these things, girl, I was like in my room, just like, oh, okay, she's gone. Like, I was so like when he did that.
Afraid for him.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, the bitch is gone. You know what I mean? Like, I did a little shimmy, a little dance, but it was rough. Like, listening to him go through this, it's really something else.
I don't know. When I was listening to a little bit of last week's episode,
Mm-hmm.
I think when we were talking, I lost track of like the demons that are with him. But then rehearing it,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. Because I was like losing track of how many he had. And then at one point where he left and came back and he had another one.
Oh, yeah, the 4. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like...
Every time he does something
Mm-hmm.
to either try to get rid of them or tries to do something, like, I want to say whenever he does this big, like, ceremony for a stupid reason, he always gets another demon attached.
Yeah.
Which he's had, like, what? Like, at that point, 4 rituals done. So, anyway. His heart monitor starts going, through the roof. If you want to hear the heart monitor, I can take you there.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear this beeping. All of a sudden, he got a heart monitor.
Yeah. It's on 57.
Los atributos morales de Dios es misericordia, bondad, amor, perdón. Y ellos no los tienen.
¿Qué pasó?
Ellos tienen estas...
Perdón, señor.
¿Qué está pasando?
Soy un ruido.
Es su línea.
No, tengo un dispositivo porque a partir de eso he tenido problemas cardíacos.
Sí.
Es un dispositivo que me altera, que me indica que se ha alterado mi sistema cardiovascular.
Tienes que tranquilizarte.
Me voy a infiltrar en este momento algún medicamento, pero
Sí.
por favor, señor pastor, continúe.
Pretty much when his heart monitor starts going off is pretty much when the priest is telling him, like, no. And when he's giving him those reasons that I just told you, why those demons are gonna leave him. And I guess at that point, maybe his heart starts going off like that because, like, that's not the answer he wanted to hear. He's probably, like, hoping that he's gonna say, like, yeah, you can get rid of him, blah, 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 blah. But, to hear it from this priest who has gone through something similar. Like, when he talks to this priest at the beginning, this priest does say that he's experienced similar things, and that's what made him go on the route to priesthood. And you hear someone who has similar experience, who I'm sure you've heard on the radio, giving people help, and he's telling you they're not gonna leave you. It's something that I'm sure is gonna make anyone's heart rate go up like that.
Yeah,
too.
but at the same time, you don't want them to lie to you.
Oh,
you want
definitely.
You want realistic answers. And then on top of that, like, I get it sucks, but he shouldn't be panicking that bad because, I mean, except for, the new one that he's stuck with, he's used to the other ones.
Yeah, and that's what he says too. He's like, usually I don't get scared, but there's instances where I get scared. But I don't know, sometimes, like, he'll be freaking out, which, I am not gonna lie, like, I'm sure this doesn't ever get easier, you know what I mean? Like, you see this weird-ass looking bitch with big mouth, fucking big-ass tongue trying to, hop on your
Fondle
bones,
you.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure it never gets easy. But at the same time, it's like, it's been happening for a while. Or maybe that, fondling thing is a brand new thing that's going on. But, like, when you made this pact with this demon, you told him you will do anything but give up your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And if that means you're gonna have to give some sexual favors to a demon, then that means you're gonna give him a little, you know,
something.
A little something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I honestly, like, sometimes when I hear him, I just don't understand what he thought was gonna happen. Did he just think he was gonna have to murder people because, you know, they didn't specify? And he said he was down. He said he was down.
I guess he thought it was gonna be more, you know, him doing stuff like that, him doing rituals, and less having sex with demons.
Yeah, which he should have specified when he was like, "Not my soul." He should have been like,
or body.
Yeah, he's like,
or
"Not
body.
my soul or my body." Yeah. So
he should have been like, I am comfortable with doing tasks, I guess, or performing rituals, but yeah, you can't have my soul. You cannot have my body or touch me in any way.
Yeah, which I don't know if he knows this, but you know, there's some rituals that involve sex, so it's all like he can't just let that be off the table, because like if he's down to do rituals and this ritual calls for sex, I don't know how he's gonna substitute that. I don't know. In my humble opinion, he's just fucked. Like it sucks, you know. So you know his heart monitor starts going off when the priest is telling him pretty much no, and he tells the priest that at some point he was forced to dance with, you know, this woman, and she was pretty much just telling him that there's nothing he can do to, you know, get away from them, and he starts contemplating suicide. And he tells them, he's all like, "Do you think if I commit suicide, it's gonna put an end to it?" And they're like, "Bro, pump your brakes, stop, because that is a no-go." Yeah, like they're like, that's a no-go. They're all like, even if you commit suicide, this is stuff that follows you beyond death. These are things that follow you to the other realm. So if you think you're fucked now, you're gonna be extra fucked when you die, because those things are gonna latch onto you, and this is gonna be something you're gonna have to deal with forever. And once you're dead, there's pretty much no getting out of that. At least while you're alive, there's stuff you can do to try to get rid of them. So when you do go, you can be cleared of them. So they pretty much tell him, don't commit suicide. And, you know, he starts telling them, like, dude, like, they're telling me that when my 7 lights turn off, that he's going to suffer, you know, for all eternity. And when he started saying that, it kind of reminded me of what the priest was saying. So, you know, there's the 7 graces of God, which they're pretty much saying that when each of those lights are going to turn off, that's when he's going to suffer. And pretty much that's what these demons are doing to him. They're making sure that he starts tainting those graces that God bestowed upon people. So they're pretty much telling, like, I feel like they gave him such a big clue. They told him, once these 7 lights turn off, you're gonna suffer for all eternity. Pretty much, I feel like the loophole you're finding here is, as long as you keep the rest of your graces, you're gonna be fine. So I think right now he needs to sit back and recalculate how many of those he's already tainted, and try to keep the ones that he has left in pristine condition, and try to make back up the other ones that he has tainted. To me, that was a big clue, but you know, like I said, I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff. So he starts telling the priest that he's really confused because he's not exactly sure what religion to follow, because you know, he went to Catholic priests. They pretty much didn't help him. He went to a Mormon one, which isn't helping him at all, even though, you know, he's not really talking to the Mormons about his issues, but you know, he's following them. He's going to church whenever it is that they have to go, and it's still not helping him. Now they're telling him to go to a Christian church. He's like, what church do I follow? I'm confused. Like, which religion is the right religion to get rid of these things? And the priest pretty much just tells him, like, that's not the problem. The problem is your belief. How much are you willing to go, you know, to be with God instead of these demons? So he tells him to read Psalms 121. And at this point, girl, so you know how I told you that this is on the radio and online for other people who are not in Mexico area, right? The host Jose Ramon pretty much tells him like, dude, people are praying for you all around the world. Like, they're getting messages from these people saying that they're listening, that they hear him, and they're praying for him. The priest is like, yes, if you are listening to this radio, if you're listening to this broadcast, please pray for this young man. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter where you are. If you want to help him, just get on your knees and start praying for him. And girl, they start praying. Like, all these people start praying from all around the world, feeling for this guy. It's like all of a sudden he's got all these people, in his corner, and they're all, like ganging up on these little demons. Like, it's like just get up on them, and he's starting to feel a little better. You know what I mean? That he's got all this support from people around the world. So, he goes, he's trying to flip, his Bible pages, and all of a sudden he can't pick up the Bible. He had the Bible and it falls from his hands and he can't pick it up. The priest is like, it doesn't matter if you can't pick it up. Get down on your knees. Get on the floor.
It's a book. Just read.
Yeah, get on
your
the floor.
eyes.
And the guy is telling him, he's like, no, I can't even open the book. Like, the book is too heavy. He's like, the book is on the floor and I can't even open it.
The pages have become heavy?
Yeah, the pages. The whole Bible is closed and he can't even open the cover. It's all heavy. And he's telling him, like, I cannot even open it. So he pretty much says, like, you know what, let me try something. So he starts doing a prayer to see if it will help him, and he can't do it. And I guess this is the part that kind of starts to upset me, because it doesn't even sound like he's trying. Okay, let's go to 1 hour, 2 minutes, and like 30 seconds. You start hearing him talk about how he can't pick it up.
Okay.
Y tienen compasión por Josué, que doblen sus rodillas donde quiera que estén y empiecen a pedirle a Dios, al único Dios vivo, poderoso, en el nombre de Jesucristo, que pueda ser liberado este joven.
Claro que sí.
Quienes nos estén escuchando, que lo hagan, por favor.
Bien, Josué, ¿ya tiene su Biblia?
Señor, no la puedo abrir, está bien pesada. No la puedo abrir.
¿Por qué no la puedes abrir? ¿Cuál es la pesadez?
La intenté levantar y se me cayó al suelo, ¿no?
Ahí en el suelo, no importa que esté en el suelo, ábrela ahí en el suelo. Sí. Busca el libro de los Salmos.
No, es que no la puedo, no puedo, no la, así, ¿cómo se dice? Abrir, no la puedo abrir en dos, pues, no puedo, Señor.
Tienes que, di esto, en el nombre de Jesucristo, Señor, yo quiero buscarte, Padre, Espíritu Santo, Jesucristo, dame fortaleza, ábrela, en el nombre de Cristo Jesús, ábrela, ábrela en el nombre de Jesucristo. Ábrela en el nombre de Jesucristo.
No puedo, mejor no.
Okay. Préstame una Biblia.
He has him repeating.
So, pretty much he's praying for him, trying to figure out if he can do a prayer for him to be able to, get a little bit of strength to open the Bible. And, he can't. He starts gagging again. You hear a lot of vomiting again. And at that point, he's just like, you know what? Better no. No, I don't want to do this. Let's stop here. And it's just like, dude, like, you're asking for this help. Like, literally all you're doing is, like, throwing up. And yes, it sucks. But if you really want this help, you're going to have to try harder than letting, you start vomiting stop you from trying to do that, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being harsh. I'm sure I'm being harsh. But at the same time, it's like, you knew this wasn't going to be easy. You knew this wasn't going to be a walk in the park. Like, if you were, like, willing to go kill your grandma, if you're willing to go and almost abduct a baby from a lady, then you should be able to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm like, this isn't having faith, and, strength. It should be super easy to do. Yeah. Which, obviously it's going to be hard when you have evil forces, around you, not letting you open the Bible or whatever.
But
if you were that determined to get rid of them, then you will stick to it.
You would do what you got to do to get rid of them. Just like you were willing to do whatever it took for the other side, you would be able to do it for this side too.
Oh, so, yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's just like that just upset me. I'm all like, oh, I just want to stop here. Better know. And it's just like, are you really trying though? Like, I sure saw you put all your strength to go do that other ritual in the Blue Mountains. You drove a few hours to go down there. I'm sure you gathered all those supplies. You did all that.
This don't even take supplies.
I know. All you gotta do is just open it and read.
Yeah.
So pretty much the priest ends up just telling him, like, you know what? I'm going to read it and you repeat what I'm saying. So we're going to pray together. And, they start, and then he starts freaking out because when he is saying that Bible verse, he realizes that he used these same verses to summon the demon. So so pretty much what happens is sometimes people use the same Bible verses, but they switch some of the words up to, go for the other team. And that's what he did. He pretty much used the same verse and just switched the wordage, and that's how he manifested this demon to come up to him. So now that he's reading it for God, he's freaking out because he's like, no, I don't want to do this because I'm getting PTSD because I did this to summon the other dude. And the priest keeps telling him, like, no, this is the right one. I know that's what you did for those other things, but the devil did not create land. The devil did not do all these things that are written on this verse. So you just got to repeat after me. Stop arguing with me and just repeat after me and say what I'm doing so we can help you. So he shuts the fuck up and he starts repeating the Bible verses. If you want to listen from 1 hour and 5 minutes to 1 hour and 7 minutes, we can hear them.
Satanás no hizo los cielos y la tierra, Josué. Él no los hizo.
Yo llamaba a los demonios con un propio Padre Nuestro, o sea...
Ok, yo sé que está invertido. Josué, no vamos a meter la contra. Yo te pido que hagas lo que te estoy diciendo. El diablo no hizo los cielos y la tierra. Sí. Dios Padre, y Dios Espíritu Santo y Jesucristo hicieron la tierra.
Sí.
¿Ok? Jehová es tu guardador.
Jehová es mi guardador.
Jehová es tu sombra, tu mano derecha.
Jehová es mi sombra, mi mano derecha.
El sol
You
no
gotta
te
put some
fatigará.
strength behind these words. He's
I
just
know.
repeating them
Ni
like
la
a weak
luna de
bitch.
noche.
That's what I'm saying.
Jehová guardará de todo mal. Dilo, Jehová me guardará. Apropiate del salmo.
See, even the priest is like, come on, man.
Jehová me guardará. Jehová me guardará.
De todo mal.
De todo mal.
Él guardará mi alma.
Él guardará mi alma.
Jehová guardará mi salida y mi entrada.
¿Qué?
Jehová guardará mi salida y mi entrada.
Mi salida y mi entrada.
Desde ahora y para siempre.
Desde ahora y para siempre.
And it goes his heart rate again.
Cristo Jesús.
Amén.
Amén. Amén. Yo haré cuanto me pidan. Me están atormentando aquí. Me está picando mis costillas un demonio.
Necesitas a Cristo en tu corazón.
Pero Dios mío, ayuda.
Dile a Cristo, entra a mi corazón, Jesús. Díselo, Josué, por favor. Dile, Jesucristo, entra a mi vida.
Entra a mi vida, por favor.
Toma mi corazón.
So, yeah. So pretty much at that point, he pretty much just said what I told you. What happened? What's that face?
No, cause I'm just a little confused. I can understand if he was afraid if they were attacking him in any way while he's trying to do this, but it doesn't seem like he's being bothered at all. He's just afraid.
No, he does say that towards the end, if you made it to the seventh mark. I know you understand most things, but I know they're talking fast. Mm-hmm. But he does say that there's a demon there that is poking his rib cage, and so I don't know. He's saying that it's poking him. I don't know, there's all kinds of pokes.
He can't get up and walk around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'd be like, homie, hold on.
Yeah,
on the phone.
Listen, when I let you sit on my seat over there, I didn't bug you.
I would move it around. And then I'm like, where is the conviction behind these words?
Yeah, it's not till the very end that he starts, when he's actually like freaking out, that he starts doing it. But I'm like, dude, you're supposed to have this kind of a conviction at all times.
You like your goal. You want to get rid of them. You want to, move towards the light, know, and leave all of this behind you. You gotta believe it. Like I'm not believing him. I don't believe that he believes, and the demons don't believe that he believes either. That's why they're still with him.
That's why they poking him.
Yeah, they're like, come on, you
bro.
playing?
Yeah, you playing, man. So so they keep praying, and the priest is telling him that he's trying to cast a spiritual barrier for him, between him and the demons. And as they're praying, there's more throwing up. And I want you to hear this part from 1 hour and 9 minutes to 1 hour and 10. Because when he starts saying amen at the end, I was just laughing. Like, I don't know. Like, it was just funny. It just sounded funny.
Dios quiere porque tiene una morada para ti en el cielo. Jesús fue a preparar una morada para ti. Y hoy Cristo quiere rescatar lo que se había perdido. Tú te habías perdido. Y cualquier trato que hayas hecho con el enemigo, en el nombre de Jesucristo sea roto. No importa la distancia y el tiempo. En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo, Señor, rompe el trato que haya hecho Josué. Tú tienes la autoridad y el poder. Jesucristo, manifiesta tu autoridad. Dobleza a este ser espiritual. Y, Señor, tú eres el único Dios vivo y verdadero. Te confesamos que no hay poder más grande que el tuyo, porque tú eres el Dios único, el Dios creador del cielo y de la tierra, y que has creado al hombre para que venga a ti. No puede el enemigo tomar lo que no es de él, porque nosotros, la creación, somos tuyos. Tú nos hiciste para honrarte, para glorificarte, para alabarte y buscarte. Cubre a Josué, Señor. Él te ha confesado que tú eres Jesús el Salvador. Señor.
Damn. Okay, in my defense, some of the stuff that I was doing, I was kind of doing it on my breaks while I was swabbing people. So maybe some of my timestamps aren't on point towards the end. But I just think it's funny how after he starts throwing up, he's like, oh, amen. Like, like he just went out and he's like, oh, I got it out. Like, amen. Thank you, Lord.
I think he was like, oh, it's working. Something's happening. Cause it's I don't know. In pieces, it's like it's a little stressful.
No, yeah, like the whole call is just stressful, to be honest. And so at some point, he starts telling the priest that he has a trip planned to go to Brazil to go get the ring removed, and he's telling him like, I'm gonna go to see a witch doctor who says that they can remove it, and the priest is like, dude. Stop it. Stop going to these people. He's like, of course they're going to be able to take it off. Which, I want to call bullshit on this, but at the same time, it's like, I don't have a right. But he's pretty much saying that, of course he's going to be able to take it off of you. Like, it's like the devil's taking a different form. Of course, the person who gave it, he's going to be able to take it off and trick you and stuff like that. So he's like, don't go there. He starts telling him, I don't know, I guess at this point, that he starts hearing a new voice. Ever since, we already talked about it, right? Ever since he went to the cave, he starts telling him like, dude, I'm hearing a new voice. And
a fifth voice?
Yeah, he's starting to hear something else ever since he went to the cave. The priest pretty much is like, dude, stop it. I don't need to hear this. You don't need to hear this. Just ignore it. Ignore that voice and start praying. You know what I mean? Ignore it. And every time you hear that voice, just start praying to God. Don't listen to it. He tells him, start singing hymns. And the guy's all like, he's like, I can, man. I'm a weak man. Which I'm like, obviously. Yeah. He's like, I'm a weak man. And, the priest's like, no, God's got you. He knows you're a weak bitch, but he's got you. He's got your back. So just know that God is on your side. I wrote this note here, and I'm not exactly sure what exactly I meant now.
What did you write?
I put, the priest says you'll be like new, but the demon said, that's a lie.
Were you watching Maury clip?
So yeah, I guess the priest is telling him like, if you go with God, you'll be revitalized into a new person. And the demons are like, nah, that's not true. Like, you're stuck with us till the end. You can hear the demons start laughing at him when he's saying that. So if you want to listen to them laughs, we're going to go to 1 hour and 17 minutes to 1 hour and 19 minutes.
Te ordeno que te calles en el nombre de Jesucristo. En el nombre de Cristo, cállate. Cállate en el nombre de Cristo Jesús y escucha, Josué. No prestes atención a esas voces. En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Josué, en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Cristo Jesús es mayor. Cristo Jesús te ama. Cristo Jesús te quiere limpiar y liberar. Cristo Jesús es mayor y quiere hacerlo. En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. En Cristo Jesús. No prestes atención. No prestes atención. No prestes atención.
No, es que Dios mío, no, yo no escucho nada, yo no escucho nada.
No escuchas nada.
No escucho nada.
En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo, en este momento declárate, yo pertenezco a Cristo. Declárate, yo pertenezco a Cristo.
¿Qué me están hablando, güey?
Yo pertenezco a Cristo.
Yo pertenezco a
Vas a empezar a tomar esto. Ponte el casco de la salvación. Ponte el casco de la salvación. Toma la coraza de justicia. Cíñete con la verdad, que Jesús es verdad. Cálzate con el apresto del Evangelio. Y en el nombre de Cristo Jesús, toma la palabra de Dios como la espada santa, que es la palabra de Dios.
Like, I hear the other
Pero
voice, but I
sobre
can't tell what
todo,
it's saying.
El escudo
Yeah, I
de la
can't
fe,
either.
para echar fuera todo dardo del maligno que en este momento te quiera atormentar y te quiera causar temor.
Like when they talk,
en el nombre de
it
Cristo Jesús,
really sounds
Josué.
like mumbling.
Así
Yeah,
sea,
like somebody in the
para
background.
honra y gloria
Yeah.
de Dios.
And they're just laughing at him.
Así sea.
No, yo escucho a usted, yo lo escucho a usted.
Nada más. Clama a Dios, clama a Dios,
Ayúdame.
clama a Dios.
I don't know. I think it's funny how he tells them, put on the helmet of Jesus Christ. Put the helmet on, brother, and just headbutt them, you know?
Man. Let it protect you. I don't know, man. I wish I could roll my R's. My Spanish is complete trash, and I think half of it is because I can't roll my R's.
All you have to do is go home and just practice.
Girl,
And
that's what Miss Johnson said in high school. It didn't work.
What you need to do is when you're down playing your Sims, you know how when you meditate, instead of doing that, just go.
I can't do that. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Like, what it is pretty much like you put your tongue up to the roof of your mouth, hold it up there. Hold it up there, and you're gonna blow air through it, and it's pretty much your tongue is. Kim, don't be a weak bitch like Josué, man.
I'm
Put that
trying.
tongue up there, and you have to have that tongue fight the wind resistance. Pretend that if you're not grabbing up to the top of that, your tongue is gonna fly out of your mouth. Just keep it in there.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I want to take Spanish class like as an adult, but I'm still gonna sound like trash.
We just gotta practice, girl. We just gotta practice.
You gotta start giving me some words and phrases. I'll make some note cards.
I will. So pretty much at this point, there's just a lot of praying going on. You know, they're trying to make it easier make him a little stronger and them a little weaker. And you know, this whole time when he's talking, you just hear pure regrets. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, because I'm just like, why? How is he such a weak bitch? Because he had no problem, you know, doing these rituals, sacrificing his grandma, and they're literally just asking him to believe and repeat some stuff. And he's so scared. I'm like, obviously these demons haven't been beating you enough that people would notice. So I'm like, it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
It can't be that bad.
And that's my thing too.
It's because he's being asked to do work. He's lazy, and he wants things that's the only reason why he doesn't want to do this anymore, is because he'd asked for things and he didn't receive. If he would be receiving these things without like receiving money and, you know, women and knowledge without having to put in any work, he would still be, you know, chilling with the demons.
Yeah.
He's lazy. And he doesn't want to do anything. And he's being asked to do things, to believe and, you know, have strength. And he's just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. That's too much.
He's like, from my 14-year-old upbringing, I still can't. It's like, I know exactly what you're saying, and it's hilarious because in a lot of these things with witchcraft and stuff like that, you still have to put in work. You know what I mean? You still have to, like, what he was saying, he was like getting up at 10, like he was doing rituals from 10 p.m. to 2 in the morning, literally just sitting there doing these things, and all you have to do is the exact same thing, except you gotta pray. The way you were praying from 10 to 2 for Satan, you gotta pray from 10 to 2 for Jesus. Maybe not 10 to 2, but maybe from like 10 to 5. You know, a little more work. You gotta give a little more work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't just...
I guess it depends on how bad you want these demons expelled.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want them expelled too bad because, you know, he can still get stuff out of them. You know what I mean? Like, he was able to use them to be able to go from this career that took 8 years to graduate from and just do it in 6 months. So, like, I don't know. I feel like his heart is half in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he was receiving things.
Yeah.
But then he was also still having to work.
Yeah, and which was definitely not what he wanted.
Yeah, he didn't want to have to work at all. Which I still don't understand. Like, he shouldn't even really have to work if the first demon taught him how to make people do things for him.
Yeah, I know.
Why are you going to work?
Most definitely. Like, I have questions. Because, like, if he can work on this dude to have him pass this class, like we've already said, in 6 months, why can't he just do that to another coworker? You know what I mean? Like, we have, you know, like at work, we have all those coworkers that don't do shit and still get paid. Like, that could be him. That could be him.
Yeah, I don't know. Because it's like, yeah, he told us that he was given these gifts or whatever. Like, and you're not using them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, like, I honestly think he's just stupid. Like, he doesn't know. But at the same time, maybe he's also lazy because he doesn't want to do all the work. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't understand him is what I'm saying. It's like, there are certain ways I feel like he could have turned this around to be in his advantage. But I feel like he's just not thinking about it or not wondering how or zooming into the advantages he can have. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's just stupid. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, you guys. You guys tell me. What do you guys think? Is he being stupid? Do you think he would be able to use what these demons gave him to his advantage so he wouldn't have to work and live his life of luxury or whatever? Because I'm thinking, like, if he can really do this kind of stuff, I'm all like, why don't you go and be like, ooh, let me meet some rich person and marry her, and then like that.
Man, gold dig. People do that without demons.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he could have done so many things. There's so many things he could have done with the help of these demons, so he wouldn't have to be worrying about working and stuff like that, if that's really what he's mainly upset about.
Yeah, because that is a legitimate way to get money and not have to do that much work. But maybe he just doesn't want to use his body at all. Because you definitely got to use your body for that.
Yeah,
if you
that's
get a
true.
gold dig, you definitely got to use your body for that.
But you know what? If he wants to gold dig with women, I don't think that would have been a problem. You know what I mean?
I think he would probably, I don't know, maybe he prefer either. I don't know. He kind of, like you said,
he sounded a little suspicious.
Little sus.
Well, tell me, like, when you hear him on the phone, doesn't he sound a little...
I think the issue is that he just sounds like a bitch.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
So
I think like, that's what it is.
That doesn't sound like, I don't know. He definitely not a top. Tell you that much.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all like, But, you know, it could... Okay, I'll get there.
We're like off topic.
Yeah, we are. All right. So like I said, he just has pure regrets now because this is not the way he wanted things to go. He just keeps talking to the priest like he wants a quick fix, but it's all like, bro, you can't have that quick fix. Like, what you did took 5 years to manifest. You think you're just gonna get it like gone in like a few months? Like, no, it's not gonna be that easy.
He said, I need something right now. Like, just slap this band-aid on here and have me demon free.
Yeah. So he does tell the priest, like, I need something to say. So, because you know how, like, in this episode, sometimes he'll be mumbling stuff, and he says that he has to say that in order to keep the demons away from him. So he pretty much is saying, like, if I'm not going to be using any of my satanic / witchcraft or any of that kind of stuff, what is it that I'm going to say to keep them away from me? The priest gives him a little prayer.
Oh, reliable. We talked about the Lord's Prayer before.
Exactly.
He said he memorized stuff real fast. You better shoot that sucker out.
That's exactly what he pretty much does. He makes up like a little prayer for him, which he could have done on his own goddamn self. But
at that point, the priest is probably like, I gotta give him something because he. Let me just make something up real quick.
Yeah, because he's all like, obviously this guy can't think for himself.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So he gives him a little prayer, but then he's like, but what do I need to do? Because, you know, he's so used to doing rituals. He's so used to doing things like that to be able to get rid of him. So he's like, what is it? Like, okay, I need to pray. I understand I need to pray. But what do I physically need to do to get rid of them? And the guy's pretty much is like, you don't got to do nothing. All you got to do is pray, sing hymns, and read Psalms 23. That's all you have to do. So Josue, he pretty much thanks everyone. He says, you know, he's ready to fight, but he's scared. He's all like, you know what? I'm ready to fight and I'm scared, but I'm scared to do it, but I'm going to do it. At some point, they return back to the priest, and I don't know why I thought this was so weird, but the priest pretty much tells him that you need to cover yourself in the blood of Christ.
Okay.
And I don't know, I always think like those imagery things are kind of like weird. Like, you know, he just murdered his grandma, covered the ring with blood to, like, you know, have the ring activate. And now the priest is telling him you need to go cover yourself in the blood of Christ. I don't know. But when he said that, like, I've heard it a lot in like you know, church sermons and stuff like that. But I always think that's a little sketch, if you ask me, you know?
Yeah.
But whatever. He starts, at this point, dude's freaking out because he's starting to hear a child crying and cats howling. And mind you, there are no children or cats in the premises.
Those are, man, especially that child one, that is not what you want to hear when you are alone.
I know. And the priest pretty much tells him, like, dude, is there a Christian radio station right now which is on that's playing hymns? Call them and ask them to pray for you. You need to start a prayer chain. The guy's like, I'm not sure, I need to find out, blah 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 blah. And he starts saying, if this is my last call, I just want to thank you all, blah 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 blah. The host is like, no, this is not going to be your last call. He's like, you are going to manifest this. And he pretty much just tells him, say next time you call us that you're going to be proof that God can help take the worst things from you if you believe in him and if you are really if you really repent on the stuff that you have done. So he has him say that. The call is ending right now. We're going towards the end of the call, and the host is saying that there's only like 4 minutes left in the call, right? And all of a sudden he just starts freaking out, and they're telling him like, what's going on, what's wrong, and he won't say. Like, he refuses to say what's wrong with him. And finally Josue says, okay, I'm gonna get off the phone. I need to get off the phone. And they're telling him like, please go on a Christian radio station, please. And then you can start hearing the lady laughing, like the demon. You can hear her laughing, and they pretty much say the same thing, like, you know, next call is gonna be you thanking God. And the radio station host, he's like hyping him up, you know, like, you know, you can do this, you know. And he hangs up the call, but while he's hanging up the call, he's crying, and he can still hear the fear in his cries. And that's how the call ends.
Do they ever like reconnect with him?
Kim, I'm so glad you asked.
Cause I'm like, I don't think he gonna make it. It's not looking good.
All right, girl. So let me just start by saying this, okay? So Juan Ramon Saenz, he says that when they finally go to the priest, you know, day 2, when they're with the priest, he's saying that when there's a part where they start praying with Josue, and he says when that's happening, he starts feeling cold, like towards his legs, like, you know how we're sitting right now, like he says under the desk, he just starts feeling cold, like a cold air. And he's all like, this is weird, because our AC is up above us. Like, why am I feeling cold from like my legs? And he's saying that he's feeling like a cold like whooshing like around his like legs going up to him. And he says that he starts like, you know, feeling a little nervous. So he asks one of the people who's in the studio, he's like, hey, can you hand me my Bible? He hands him the Bible, and, you know, he's reading along with them. And he's saying that he starts noticing that his Bible pages by themselves start curling. And then he goes and, you know, tries to flatten them out and stuff like that. And they keep curling. And he's saying that during this whole thing, I don't know if I mentioned this already in the first episode, but he's saying that during this whole time, they start having technical difficulties. They start saying that like their one of their monitors ends up like frying, and you can just see the like the sparks and stuff like that. And, you know, just weird stuff starts happening during this call. So after the phone call, Juan Ramon Saenz starts, you know, he tries to contact Josue, but he doesn't get any luck. So he reaches out to a family member, and he ends up finding out that Josue is hospitalized. He says that they say that he ends up getting stabbed by a crucifix, and he's in the hospital recovering from that. So, you know, Juan Ramon Saenz, you know, he's worried about him. So he flies from Mexico to California. He goes to El Monte to go visit him, right? And let me just talk to you before, you know, he goes to this flight to California. He's saying that after he got off the call with Josue, that he starts being attacked by evil forces at home. He's saying that he experiences like someone standing at the foot of his bed. He experiences like people like blowing in his ear.
The host of the show?
Yeah, the host of the show, like blowing in his ear, and even like attacks. And he says there was even a point where he was laying in bed and the bed starts moving. Yeah. So, you know, he goes out to El Monte, California, and he goes to his house, right? And when he shows up, you know, at first he says he doesn't exactly remember what house it was. Like, he remembers the street, but he doesn't really remember like the address. So, you know, he ends up talking to like some of his neighbors, and he finds the house. So he goes to the house and he knocks, and a man opens. This tall, thin man opens.
In all black?
Yeah. And, you know, he pretty much asks like, hey, is Josue here? And the guy won't talk to him. He just shakes his head. And the only thing he says to him is, no, Josue lives here. And just shuts the door in his face. Yeah.
Wow.
And eventually, Josue calls Juan Ramon Saenz, and, you know, they start talking, and he pretty much tells him like, no, you went to the right house. That is where I live. But he's all like, but I believe at this time he was still hospitalized, so he wasn't released yet. He hadn't been released yet, so he wasn't there. But he does say, it's like, I live by myself. No one has access to my house. No one has keys to my house. I'm the only person who lives there. So it's impossible that a man would have opened the door for you.
Okay. Where I have issue is, why would Juan Ramon be getting targeted?
Oh, he says that
through the phone?
Yeah, he says that the reason why he believes he was targeted is because all these demons don't like it when you try to save someone who they have, as he says, in the pot. He says they don't like it. He's like, we have these people and we don't want you to free them. So he believes that he was getting targeted because he was trying to help him be liberated from them, you know. Is that
why would he be able to see one of them?
I don't know. And, you know, Juan Ramon Saenz, okay, the one thing we need to know about Juan Ramon Saenz is that he, as a child, was able to see auras.
Okay, so you think he's just naturally in tune to such things? Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's why his life led him towards paranormal science, I guess. And that's pretty much what he does. Like, his whole life is pretty much revolving around the paranormal. So he even says, because this isn't the only case he's ever taken, he says that there have been cases where he's worked at where he feels like things have followed him because he went there. So, you know,
See, that I believe, you know, you go somewhere, you know, there's always a chance that you can bring something back. Mm-hmm. But I'm just a little, like, you're stretching my belief here that these things were able to locate you through the phone. I can understand if that happened after he had went to visit his house.
Yeah.
But for it to happen before is a little iffy
sus.
for me.
No, definitely. But I do believe, like, if you're someone who works in the paranormal field, mm-hmm. and this is something you're known for, you know, just like you said, employees talk amongst themselves. I'm sure ghosts and demons, if they have that kind of intellect, talk amongst themselves.
They call my other demon friend lives out that way. Let me have them go pay him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm telling you. Is that demon gang life? You know what I mean? So I that's what I think happened. But I do believe him, just because this is stuff that he's been dealing with since he was a kid. So I do believe that maybe they kind of knew him, because I guess he was really famous around this time. Like, even though we don't know who he is, like, you know, we aren't from there, we don't know. But a lot of people say that Juan Ramon Saenz, he's like the father of paranormal investigations and entertainment. Like, he's the one who started this whole movement for them in, you know, in Mexico and Central America and stuff like that. So I'm sure them demons like entertainment too. So, you know, like I said, Josue ends up contacting him, telling him that no one lives there, and then he tells him what happened, and he pretty much says, pretty much after I logged out, things just ended up escalating. He's like, it got real crazy real fast, and pretty much like he couldn't contain the demons, and at some point he ended up getting stabbed with a crucifix, and he ended up having to get hospitalized. So that's what happens. That's how that ends there.
In my mind, I'm like, he's probably reciting whatever that priest had made up for him, and
he's
he
like,
got some little crappy little bootleg little crucifix that he bought from the dollar store. They're like, what is this? It's just stabbed.
Maybe. And it's, I think it goes definitely with your like what you were saying, is that he doesn't believe it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you don't believe it, it's not gonna happen. So
yeah, because if he believed it, then I definitely think he would have seen positive results.
Yeah.
He's just looking for anything. He'll say anything. If you told him to, you know, quack like a duck at 5 times a day at 5 o'clock, he'd probably do it.
Yeah, definitely.
But he don't believe that. He's just like, I'm just doing what I'm told.
Yeah, because it's easier. It's easier to say that. You know, like you said, there's followers and there's leaders. And he's definitely a follower. He's just trying to find the easy route to get from point A to point B. You know what I mean? Anyway, 9 years later. Yeah, 9 years later, a TV show.
What year is that? What year is this now?
This is 2011. 9 years later is 2011. So this call happened in 2002.
Okay.
And 9 years later, in 2011, a paranormal TV show called Extra Normal ends up finding Josue and landing an interview, right? And, you know, he's down. He's like, okay, I'll do this interview, but I have some requests. First, I want it to be in a secret location that only I know, and I'll tell you the day of. 2,
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Already? I'm like, you about to get sacrificed because he went back.
Yeah. 2, it has to be at night. And 3, we gonna be on a boat. And my last, yeah, I know. Yeah, Kim, take that crack out your mouth. What's your question?
No, I'm dumb, because the first thing that came to my mind was Lonely Island. I'm on a boat. Remember that?
I'm on a boat and it's going fast, and I got a nautical
theme. Pass me the Afghan.
I'm on the top of the world on a boat like Leo. But yeah, so he's on a boat. And his last request is that Juan Ramon Saenz be present. Yeah. So they oblige, right? My thing is, like, you guys are on a boat. Y'all on water. That's a no for me, Cap. I'm like, no. Nah, chief.
That's no for me, dog.
Yeah, I can't do this. You know what I mean? And it's funny because even one of the hosts is like, because some weird stuff happens during this interview, right? And they're all like, when this stuff happens, like, we can't go anywhere. We can't run. We're in water. Like, what am I gonna do? And the thing is, like, I don't know where they are.
How far off the shore did they go?
They were pretty far, I want to say. Like, I
no.
think from what I know, they said they were, like, in the middle.
Oh,
you know?
no.
And my thing is, like, I don't know what body of water this is or whatever, but I know that they're crocodiles. And I was like, I need so much information. There would have been so many questions I would have had to ask before we were on this body of water. Like, first, are there alligators? Are there sharks? Because, you know, some of these bodies of water are connected to, like, the ocean. So, you know, some sharks can make their way in.
Things
like
where
where
things
are
like
we?
that can come in. Yeah.
Yeah. And how high is the water? Like, can I physically get up and still, like, walk, even though we're in the middle? Like, you know, like a lake? Can I, like, you know, like, what type of water are we in?
Why do we have to go all out?
I know. So anyway, whatever.
We could be on the boat in the water and not like get off the dock. Like,
yeah, can we just like have the water like in the background and we be on land?
This entire situation is not it.
Like, if we really need to be touching water, like, you know, like on the beach, can we just stand there and just have our feet on it? But then I start thinking about, like, you know, what if that's the day the Kraken shows up and, like, a tentacle comes like, yoink?
If I get eaten by the Kraken, that's the way I was supposed to go.
No, you're right. You're right.
there was no other thing I could have done.
This was destiny. It was just how it was meant to go. Okay. And, oh, yeah, and one of his other requirements is that he doesn't want his face to be shown in camera.
Okay.
So, you know, they do the interview. They're in the water. And they pretty much just talk about it. And he's pretty much saying that he's not the same type of man he was when he made the call. Which I will second that motion, because when you hear him this time around and you hear compared to the voice you heard with the call, he sounds completely different. Like, he don't sound like a little bitch anymore. Like he sounds like a regular like a regular dude, you know what I mean?
Okay. So
like I'm no longer questioning his sexual preference.
I mean, you know, he could still like both.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like at some point he got hardened, you know what I mean?
All right, so how does this interview go?
Sorry. So he pretty much says that he's not the same he was anymore, and pretty much when they talk about the stuff that he did, he talks about his name like he doesn't say I do. He says Josue did. I don't know what that's called. Like, I know there's a term for that, but I don't know what the term is.
He's talking in third person.
Yeah.
Did one of those demons jump in?
He says that he was never at one point possessed, but he doesn't feel like the person he was back then is who he is now. So that's why he refers to that time in the third person as to the stuff he does now as me. He's still the same. He's still Josue, but a different Josue.
I don't know. That don't sound right.
But he did say that never at one point was he ever possessed. Everything he did, it was on his own volition. Like, he was in control. Like, he knew what he was doing.
But is he possessed now, though? That's my question. Are you possessed now?
You know what? I don't remember hearing them talk about that.
They probably didn't ask that. Yeah, I feel like we asked good questions.
You asked good questions, because I wouldn't have asked.
Because especially if somebody keeps saying, you know, back then I wasn't possessed. Back then I was doing everything on my own volition. I'd be like, okay, I feel like there's
are you
something that you're trying to tell me here. Who are you now?
See, that's why you're always with me, Kim, because I don't ask the right questions. I'm just like,
See, it's the same reason why I would probably be the one be like, okay, we got to get out this cult. This ain't it.
And I don't ask questions. I'll just like, all right, y'all. My general manager has spoken. I'm out.
Because you know me, somebody say something, I'm like, ooh, and I look at you like, did you hear that?
Like, I heard it, and it was kind of sus, but I don't know what to think, so I'm following
you. Gotta look at me like, we'll discuss this later.
Yeah. like, we'll talk. It's like, yeah. So, they ask him, like, so, dude, what's up with this human bone you're holding? And at this point, yes.
Human. Yeah. You didn't tell me he was holding a human. What kind of bone? Is it a finger or is it a femur?
No, it's like,
what are we
holding? I think it's like a femur, like the leg portion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a big bone, a big human bone.
Like he's holding a human bone. And pretty much he's holding a human bone, which he says it's for his protection from the demons, right? And he has like
you said this was 8 years later?
9 years.
9 years later.
9 years later, and he still has a ring. Like,
he
he
never
still
got
has...
rid of the demon.
No, he hasn't gotten rid of them.
He never believed hard enough.
No.
Or he gave... I'm pretty sure he gave up immediately.
Yeah, I'm sure because, you don't... If you're still going on the side of Christ, I don't really think you're holding a human bone for protection.
No, you're not.
And he also has an enchanted knot around the bone that, is enchanted for his protection along with other amulets. So I am definitely saying he did not go that way.
He dropped Christ immediately.
Yeah. Which he's, you don't have to drop Christ. Like, you can still believe in God and still be a witch. But, that's a different topic.
But that's not what he was doing.
But that's not what he was doing. No. Yeah, that's definitely not what he was doing. And he's saying that even though he has this as protection, he still does get attacked, which you see in the video when he's being interviewed, because all of a sudden he just like
there's
convulsing.
a video?
Yes, I'm gonna send it to you.
I was like, where is this link?
I'm gonna send it to you right now. Hold on.
Girl, I think he is possessed now, though. One of those demons slid on in because he was weak. That's the new person who they're talking to in this new interview.
I don't think he's possessed. I think that he thinks of himself a little more. Like, I don't know. I feel like after this happened, I feel like he got some notoriety that it helped him. I don't know, like...
So you're saying you think an ego boost helped him with the demons?
Thank you. Yes, I do believe that's what happened.
I don't know. I'm lazy too, and I'm like literally probably 2 seconds from being somebody's sugar baby.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do all of that for money.
Yeah.
I couldn't do all that. That ain't it.
Okay, so go to 7 minutes and 49 seconds.
I'm seeing the knot.
Yeah. And let me see if I could find the convulsion. So if you go to like 3:40.
Why he got that jacket on like that?
Yeah, you know what? He does have like a fucking like animal pelts on him. I don't know. Honestly, I think all this stuff is just for like drama. I don't know.
It's just for show?
I think so. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know.
Yeah, because when he was shaking, he shook it off and then he put it back on. He's wearing it like a person who put their jacket on the front way instead of the regular way.
Yeah, no, he just got an animal pelt on him. I don't know. I feel like the pelts are probably for show, but the other stuff, maybe he believes in that kind of stuff and that's what he does. But anyway, so he has that human bone. He claims it's a human bone with that knot on it that he said that that's enchanted with other amulets, for his protection. And he says that he carries it around with him because when he asked Juan Ramon Sainz to come with him to be in the interview, they said whenever them two come together, both of them manifest stronger energies. And sometimes he needs that kind of protection. Yeah. And, you did see the part where he starts getting convulsions. And he says that that's when he gets attacked by evil. And those I'm going to guess that because he has those protections, those aren't as bad as the ones that he would receive if he didn't have them.
I like how it says ex Satanist, but I'm like, he's obviously still dabbling in something.
He claims to be an ex-Satanist. So, Juan Ramon Sainz does say that Josue has a ritual coming up on June 24th, 2011, to finally remove the Ring of Solomon from his hands. And he says, I don't know why they make it seem like Juan Ramon Sainz was gonna go with him, but that they make it like seem like he's gonna go with him. I don't know.
Do they show the ring?
They do not show the ring. I don't remember seeing the ring. But they say what happens is when he shows up to the interview, he has a black glove over the hand that has the ring.
Oh, okay.
So they don't really show it. So, they do the interview and they're saying like while the interview is going on, some weird stuff starts happening. They just start hearing things. They just start feeling weird things. And they say at some point, like the water current just starts going crazy and they feel like they're going to be shooken off the boat. And, some just like...
Yeah, because I thought that boat was going to be a little bit bigger than it is, but they look a little cramped.
It looks like it's just one of like, those like little
small boat
canoe. Yeah, like a little boat canoe. I don't know.
I would have showed up and like, and I was already suspicious of this. I am not getting in that.
Exactly. I wouldn't have.
Not getting in that.
And the thing is, like, I think that the camera person, he makes it sound like he was in like a different boat, and
which I feel like he had to have been, because there's no way 4 people fit on that.
Yeah, and the cameraman said that he actually didn't feel comfortable getting any closer, because he said he felt like if he got any closer, that something was just gonna drop him in the water. So where the distance that he is, he said that's where he felt the safest, like the closest to feel safe. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. But yeah,
like that's as close as he could get to get the shots, but he couldn't get any closer because he felt unsafe past that point.
Yes, thank you. And that's how the interview goes, and everything goes right. So let's go to the end of the interview. A few days later, the cameraman has to go get an emergency operation because of a hernia that has developed under his stomach. After that, Juan Ramon Sainz is hospitalized for peritonitis due to a gastrointestinal bacteria, and he dies in May 29th, 2011. A few weeks after that, 1 week after that, the priest Roberto Waso, he also passes away. And the interviewer, the guy who was actually doing the interview, he gets in a really bad car accident, which leaves him, well, luckily he survives and he's okay, but it leaves him in a really messed up state for a while. Like, he has to have like the neck brace and stuff like that. Like, it was a really bad accident. So the camera crew starts talking about some weird stuff. So they said that the day they went to the interview, they realized, they didn't really think much of it, but they did realize that when they went to go greet him, the first person Josue went to go greet was obviously Juan Ramon Sainz. But they said when he greeted him, he shook him with the hand that had the glove on with the ring. And everyone else, he would not give that hand. He would only shake their hands with the hand that did not have the ring. So one of the things that I thought was kind of weird is that they were saying that he had the ring on his right hand, but I remember him distinctly saying in the interview, the first one, that he had it on his left hand. So I'm a little confused. I don't know if I'm confusing that with his grandma, who had to have it on her left hand and then he had to put it on his right. Like, I don't know, but for some reason I remember his ring being on his left hand, but I could be wrong. But the camera crew saying that he had it on his right hand, so I don't know. And during this interview, if you watch closely, you could start seeing that Juan Ramon Sainz starts getting kind of antsy, and there's even a point where he's like kind of uncomfortable, and you see him like with his hands, and he starts clasping his stomach, like he's like not feeling well, like he's just like, and people believe that Josue is the reason that he died. People believe that he agreed to the interview because he was going to have that ritual done on June 24th, and maybe he needed to sacrifice other people to free himself, and they believe that he sacrificed Juan Ramon Sainz.
Because that whole setup was sus. Oh, you gotta meet me at a place of my choosing, and I'll let you know day of. We gotta be on the boat. He's holding, various things, some of which seem unnecessary.
Yeah, so they do go back and talk to him, and he did have the ritual done, and they were able to successfully get the ring off of him. They said that they took there's a clip on this interview too, where they show him actually getting the ritual done, and they say they take the ring off of him. I guess there's like 4 or 5 shamans, and they say that pretty much what they do is they take the ring off, they break the ring into 4 or however many priests or shamans or priests are there, they cut it into like 4 or 5 pieces. Each one of them takes one, and it's over for him there. And he says ever since then he's not in the clear, but he says that it's not the way it used to be. And now Josue is out here, being a paranormal investigator. He still does interviews and stuff like that about this incident, which I will say, like, I don't know, sometimes I call like BS, because he does this interview with some people, and to me it's just to poor taste. He pretty much pretends that he contacts Juan Ramon Saenz from the other side and asks him, yeah, I know. And he pretty much says, did I kill you? And he says no. But then he goes, like, the people from Extra Normal come over to talk to him after all that happens, and they say, did you have anything to do with it? And he says, not necessarily. He says that he didn't have anything to do with it, but he believes the demons that are associated to him, around him, probably did do it because he's still trying to help him. And I don't know, I call bullshit on that. I don't know, I don't think the demons killed him. I believe that Juan Ramon Saenz had more protection than this dude gives him credit for. Juan Ramon Saenz did have some stuff, you know, going on with him already anyway. But I don't know, I just feel like he's trying to take this into like another, using this to his advantage, which I think is messed up. But yeah, that's the story of Josué Velasquez from La Mano Peluda. That's
crazy. Did he ever say if he still had the same 4 or 5 demons he had from before?
No, he says that they're gone. Like, he doesn't have them anymore.
Oh, okay.
So when they took the Ring of Solomon, he was pretty much freed, and he says from there he was pretty much like reborn. And that's why when he talks about stuff, he doesn't like what happens back then. He says that's what Josué did, and the stuff that he's doing now, he says he takes responsibility for that. Even though he takes responsibility for that stuff too, he's saying that he was more evil, more in a different state of mind back then. So,
but I mean, when he was on the boat, did he still have the demons then?
I believe so. Yes,
because he got the ring situation after that, right?
Yeah. So I believe he still had those demons with him. I don't remember them specifically asking if they were still with him, but I do believe that they were still with him.
That's the first question. Like, that's the first question. Is homegirl still with you? With the tongue sticking out her mouth? Like,
is she still trying to sleep with you?
Have you had sex with any of the demons that are with you?
We would just be a different kind of interview altogether.
No, and then like Juan Ramon, he saw one of them. He didn't ask about that.
Yeah.
The skinny guy in all black, he didn't ask about him. Like,
yeah, I don't think so. Maybe like this was something that they talked about in private, but you know, they do say that there's stuff that Juan Ramon and Josué have talked about in private that they don't mention with other people. So I don't know, it's just crazy how all this stuff happened. Like, pretty much everyone who was there during that production, something happened to them. Luckily, the 2 people, like the cameraman and the interviewer, didn't die. They were just fucked up. Yeah. But Juan Ramon Saenz and the actual priest, both of them passed away within a week of each other.
Yeah, and that's crazy because the priest didn't go to the second interview, so the priest never met him face to face.
But I will say that Juan Ramon Saenz and that priest were very close. And if there was anyone he was going to go get help from, it would probably be that priest. It kind of just reminds me of the Amityville. Remember when we had the priest who was having like all those attacks on the side because he was trying to help them? Yeah. Maybe that's how it was for, I think Castiel agrees. Yeah.
You think Castiel agrees?
Yeah, he's like, damn right. But yeah, that's that about that. Juan Ramon Saenz and Josué Velasquez. What do you think?
That was a story.
I'm telling you, this one was crazy. So what do you think? Do you think he had anything to do with their death?
Probably. I 100%. It just sounded very like sus and like ritualistic for the elements that he required for that interview.
Yeah.
And it does seem like he did do something to be like, you know, I'm pushing some of this energy off.
Yeah, I definitely do believe that he's not as innocent as he says to be. I don't necessarily believe, because see, maybe this is just my wishful thinking, but it's definitely true. Like, I do believe that Juan Ramon Saenz was naive in a sense that he wanted to help this guy. I do believe that Josué pretty much used him to free himself, and I do believe that he did something to him. I think for me, what just saddens me is that I believe that Juan Ramon Saenz was more protected than a lot of people are, just because, like, you know, he was really devoted to God. He had a really strong faith. I don't think he ever wavered. So to me, it just makes me sad to even have to like think that maybe he was able to be taken out that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do believe that it happened because you know what they say, it's the people you care about the most who do you in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he had that want to help him so badly.
Yeah.
To help him so badly and stuff like that. That I do think that he duped him into letting his guard down in that sense. So as much as I hate to admit it, I also do believe that he had something to do with it, but I do believe that he used that soft spot for him to have that happen to him. And for me, I think that's one of the most unforgivable things that someone could do, especially to someone who was just trying to help them. And now to say that
and
they
then to
feel
still
bad
try
for
to use him afterward.
So I don't know. I just think shame on you, shame on your cow, and shame on all the fucking shit you believe in. So I don't know.
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just upset. Like he is one of those people who upsets me. Like it's just like fuck you. You know what I mean? Like ugh. But yeah, R.I.P. Juan Ramon, Roberto Wasso. They did really make a big impact on how people see the paranormal and stuff like that now. So without them, you know, maybe we wouldn't be freely talking about this kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah. So what do the oracles have for us today?
Girl, I'm wrapped up in this blanket. I haven't even grabbed them. Hold on.
I don't know why. Like, for some reason, I want to say that I remember hearing Josue saying that Juan Ramon had some stuff attached to him too, and that's why he wanted to go with him to that ritual on the 24th to get it removed. But I can't remember if that's true or not, or if that's just something I'm making up in my head. And there's something else. Like, I want to say this June 24th thing keeps popping up. Like, I remember, is that when the demon said that they were going to give him some sort of answer?
All right, while you look that up, I pulled card number 17. It is growing up, wanting to grow and experience, rejection of perpetual youth. So it says, understanding that the years bring their lessons to you. Embrace becoming an elder, watching time make its marks upon you and embracing the signs of aging, understanding the wisdom that can come with age, being young at heart, yet yearning for encounters that will help you evolve, grow, and experience the fullness of life.
Oh, so it's just telling us we got to grow up.
I mean, I feel this all the time, especially now with the new generation and how they treat us like we're old already. And I'm like, y'all just new. I don't know how to explain it because we not old. And then, I don't know, because I feel like we weren't as naive about stuff. But they're super naive about stuff. But maybe it's because of the access, because we, you know, grew up in, you know, the rise of the internet and whatnot. And so we're used to like, oh, that's something new. I'm learning something new. Them, I think they're so used to everything just being out.
Yeah.
When they learn new things, they're like, oh, this is new. It's not new.
Yeah.
You just found out about it. That's why I think on TikTok, a lot of like these songs from like when we were younger are blowing up because I don't know, for some reason they're not used to listening to them. And they're coming up and they're like, oh, this is a bop. And it's like, yeah, we been knew that. It was a bop back then. It's a bop now. Like, you just found out about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the one thing I will say is I kind of like the naiveness of the generation. You know what I mean? I kind of like that it's nice to know that there are people who dream of things being different. Like, better than it really is. I think that's nice. And I think that's something that I think that's a goal for a lot of people. Like for me, if I ever have kids and stuff like that, I want them to think that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't want them to know how rough life really is. I don't want them to like see things so negative. Like if I had kids, I'd want them to, you know, be positive, like believe in good things and stuff like that, and not be like hardened to life like we are now. You know what I mean? But, you know, at the same time, we can't let them be too soft because, you know, there's got to be a balance. And I think right now people, like you said, a lot of these people who are naive, they're growing into their own adults and are going to have to find the middle ground between it. And if for us it is like having reruns about these things and talking about how awesome they were, you know, if that's what it is for us, hey, that's better than other things that it could have been.
I don't know. They just crack me up because like right now, how they're attacking us for our side parts and skinny jeans.
I haven't really heard much of that, but
well, because I had seen videos like on Instagram of them talking like of audio where they're like, oh, part your hair down the middle or whatever looks better. My hair does not look better parted down the middle. So that's not it. But you know what though? It's that thing about how things repeat. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like our generation as millennials, I feel like the generation that repeated with us, which even though it's like touching us so close, was like the 90s. Like we're very like our style, like sense of like clothing and the way we express ourselves looks very 90s, like very like grungy mixed with a little bit of everything, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like this new generation, their repeat style that they like, I don't even know if they realize, is that they're more 70s.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're pulling out bell bottoms, which I haven't heard them call them that, but these wide leg pants that y'all is rocking.
They bell bottoms.
Yeah. And which is cool, you know, the colors, the color scheme, because ours is very much more muted, darker. There's a lot more vibrant, psychedelic, which is fun. You know, embrace that. Bring this back. Let's do the 70s again, you know, with less drug use.
Please.
Like, I'm down for that. You know, when the world opens back up, let's do some festivals. Let's
have some discotheques.
Yeah,
some disco lemonade.
Bring disco back.
Yeah,
disco. Y'all was wild for the way y'all threw disco out like that, like it was trash when it ain't. Let's do it. You know, vinyls came back. Let's have a revival of disco.
Yeah,
do this. Let's have some new disco artists come out.
I know. But yeah, it was funny. I had seen this meme that said, my neighbor has a daughter who's been sneaking her boyfriend into her room for the past few months. And I'm no narc, so I'm not going to say anything. But a few weeks ago, she dissed my skinny jeans. So I'm going to go ask her dad, how come his son keeps forgetting his keys and sneaking in through the window? Don't come for me like that.
You know what though? Same.
Yeah,
so. Like, your daughter's out here talking smack about my clothes when your son can't even remember to bring his keys home.
He's gonna be what son?
The one that she lets in through the window, like
pretty much every night.
I'm like, don't play me, child. Y'all not ready. Yeah. They definitely not ready because, like, I feel like that's another thing. Our generation, we're so used to like people shooting on you, and you have to come up with a quick response back.
Yeah.
And they're not, because they're used to this technology age where you type everything out so you have time to think about what you're going to say. Yeah. Sometimes you got to just organically, naturally roast somebody. And you got to just let it come to you. Let your ancestors just drop it in and let it flow through your mouth. So you don't have time to, you know, revise it, edit it, type it in, switch out the words. No.
You just got to say it and hope it shoots.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're not ready for this.
Yeah. But then at the same time, I feel like it's so hard to like, okay, not that it's okay or anything like that, but you know, people like our generation was just so used to roasting each other, shooting each other that, you know, we kind of getting roasted.
Sometimes you gotta get roasted.
Yeah, and you know, you just like, that shit hurt. But you know, you gotta move on. But I feel like sometimes some of these gens, like, you will roast them, and then they will take it, and then now they have like 5 months of depression that they have to go talk with their therapist about. And it's just like, bro,
you gotta
like,
just shake it off. Sometimes you the roasty, sometimes you the roaster. Like, it just be like that.
Yeah. So sometimes it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's funny. Like we said, like, we're so used to doing it ourselves that I forget sometimes when you do it, some people like take that shit up to like.
Yeah, and then the issue is they always got something to say. Because, you know, me being someone who, you know, volunteers at a camp and stuff, and I be around the teenagers, they always got something to say. Their mouth is always open. And it's like, we as millennials, we can't turn it off all the time.
Yeah.
So if you're going to come for me, that's on you. Don't be mad because you came for me, you said something wild, and then I roasted you from your shoes all the way up to the baseball cap. Don't play me. And then don't be mad afterward. You got to let it go. We, in this moment, we had that, and then when we leave from this moment, we have to move on. Don't go home and cry and be like, Dave, she said my shoes was dusty. Like, don't go home and tell your mama. Well, you started it.
Yeah,
you know,
man. Yeah, so I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Like sometimes I don't even know where to go. Like sometimes I'm like, is it safe? Is it not safe? I'm just like, ugh.
It's not safe. Don't ever come for a millennial like that, especially if you've been growing up in the hood. Don't do that to yourself. If ain't nobody sent for you, don't come for me, okay?
You know, sometimes it works perfectly fine with that mind your own business.
Yeah, because the thing is, we can also take it. Like, you know, you shoot at me and it was a good one. I can like, okay, I can accept that.
You know what?
They can't accept that for some reason.
You know, there's been times where I've been burnt and I'm all like, touche. I have nothing to say.
Me.
You have won this round. I'll be back though. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I will be back.
It was fair.
Yeah.
It was fair. Just be on your toes, you know?
Yeah. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening to us. We really enjoyed doing all this with you guys. As always, anything you guys want to let us know, let us know.
Oh, yeah. We're open to suggestions.
Always. Sorry, I heard something.
I was like, did you freeze? Was that a glitch in the matrix? The simulation has paused. Okay.
But yeah, we hope to hear from you guys, and please join us again next week. This is Hyra.
And Kim.
And don't you ever forget your bee's knees.
Item 9.
Toots.
Bye.